ready for a deep dive into a life that's anything but ordinary.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Today, we're going beyond the label of tech tycoon to really understand Azim Premji.
Okay.
He's often called the czar of the Indian IT industry for good reason, but there's so much more to uncover.
Right. We're diving into excerpts from his Wikipedia page, but this isn't just a rehash of dates and names and things like that.
Right.
It's just about understanding the experiences and decisions that shaped him, particularly his extraordinary dedication to philanthropy.
I've got my thinking cap on.
Okay.
So we're starting back in 1945, Bombay, British India. Just setting the scene here, what was the world like for someone born in that moment?
It was a time of, immense change. India was on the brink of independence. The world was reeling from a world war.
Yeah.
For Azim Premji, born into a prominent Muslim family, it was a childhood navigating both immense opportunity, but also the weight of history,
And let's talk about family. His father, Muhammad Azim Premji, wasn't exactly your average businessman.
Right.
He was known as the Rice King of Burma.
Wow.
What does that even mean, and what kind of influence did that have on young Azim, do you think?
It's a title that speaks to incredible success and influence, especially in that pre-independence era.
Yeah.
Imagine the resources, the networks, but also the pressure that comes with inheriting such a legacy.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets really interesting. When India and Pakistan were partitioned, Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, personally invited Premji's father to help build the newly formed nation.
Wow, talk about a fork in the road. What made him stay in India?
He chose India. It's a decision that undoubtedly shaped Azim Premji's life, but in ways we can only speculate about. It speaks to a deep connection to India, a belief in its potential, perhaps. It's fascinating to consider how that decision might have informed his own values later in life.
Absolutely. Talk about a sliding doors moment in history.
Yeah.
But even with this incredible legacy at home, a young Azim Premji takes a different path. He heads to Stanford to study engineering, not exactly following in the Rice King footsteps.
This is where we see Premji's drive to kind of forge his own path, right?
Yeah.
He could have easily stayed within the family business, but choosing engineering at Stanford during that era.
Right.
It signals a curiosity about the world, a desire for knowledge, maybe even a bit of a rebellious streak, wouldn't you say?
A bit of rebellion with a purpose, it sounds like. But as we know, life rarely goes according to plan. In 1966, he gets called back to India. His father passes away, and at just 21 years old, Premji has to take over the family business.
And remember, this isn't the tech giant Wipro we know today.
Ooh.
This is 1966. We're talking about Western Indian vegetable products.
Wow.
Cooking oil and soap were the name of the game. Quite a change from the halls of Stanford, right?
Talk about a crash course in responsibility. It would have been easy to stick with what he knew, the safe bet, but Premji doesn't strike me as the play it safe type.
You're absolutely right. He could have maintained the status quo, but over the next 4 decades, he transformed Wipro in a way few could have imagined. It's a testament to his adaptability, his business acumen, and perhaps that early training in engineering, looking for solutions and seeing potential where others didn't.
So how does a soap and oil company become a global software leader? It feels like there's a missing piece to the puzzle.
The turning point came in the 1980s with the rise of information technology.
Okay.
Many saw it as a risky gamble, but Premji, with his characteristic foresight, recognized its potential.
So when IBM left India, creating this vacuum in the market?
Premji seized the opportunity. He pivoted Wipro, shifting focus and resources to embrace this burgeoning field.
Yeah.
It was a bold move, and it paid off, spectacularly.
From cooking oil to code, that's not just evolution, that's revolution.
Yeah.
What do you think allowed him to see that opportunity when so many others missed it?
It's a question worth exploring. Was it his engineering background, allowing him to grasp the technical nuances? Or was it something more? A willingness to challenge convention, an almost intuitive understanding of where the world was heading.
He clearly had a vision, that much is certain, but it's what he does next that really sets him apart.
You're talking about his foray into philanthropy.
Yeah.
This is where Azim Premji's story takes on a whole new dimension, and believe me, it's a powerful one. It's one thing to build a successful business, right?
Right.
But Azim Premji really stands out for what he chose to do with that success.
Okay.
He had amassed, extraordinary wealth, but instead of a life of extravagant indulgence, he became known for his, simple lifestyle.
It's almost counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a world that's often obsessed with material possessions, here's a man who achieved extraordinary financial success, but didn't seem tethered to it at all. What do we know about his motivations?
Premji has spoken about wealth not being a source of personal thrill.
Yeah.
For him, the true satisfaction, the driving force, was in using his wealth to empower others.
Okay.
And his vehicle for doing that became the Azim Premji Foundation, which he founded in 2001.
So this wasn't just about writing a big check. What made the Azim Premji Foundation different?
This was deeply personal for Premji, right? He poured his heart and soul, not to mention a significant portion of his wealth, into creating a foundation focused on one thing: improving education in India. It speaks to a belief in the power of education to transform lives, to break down cycles of poverty, to empower future generations.
It sounds like he saw education as the key to unlocking human potential on a massive scale. What were some of the specific areas the foundation focused on?
The foundation's work wasn't about, constructing fancy buildings or focusing on elite institutions. They focused on improving the quality of education at the grassroots level, particularly in rural and under-resourced communities. Think teacher training, curriculum development, improving school infrastructure, all the elements that are often overlooked but are essential for a quality education.
It's about creating lasting systemic change, not just Band-Aid solutions.
Precisely. And the scale of Premji's commitment was staggering. In 2010, he pledged $2.2 billion to the foundation. At the time, it was the largest single donation in India's history.
Wow. That's a monumental amount of money, even now. It goes beyond generosity, it's a statement.
And it didn't stop there. Premji took another extraordinary step. He became the first Indian to sign the Giving Pledge.
For our listeners who aren't familiar, this is no small feat. This is an initiative started by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, encouraging the world's wealthiest individuals to pledge at least half of their wealth to philanthropy.
You're right. It was a global call to action. And Premji didn't just answer that call. He became a leader in the movement. By 2019, his total giving had reached a mind-boggling $21 billion.
It's hard to even comprehend a figure that large, and it really makes you think, what kind of impact can that kind of investment have on the future?
It's truly remarkable. But even beyond the financial contributions, Premji's story is about the power of purpose, right?
Yeah.
He could have rested on his business success, but instead he chose to, dedicate himself to a cause bigger than himself.
And that dedication hasn't gone unnoticed. The man has received some of the highest honors a person can achieve.
Absolutely. He was twice featured in Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People.
Wow.
It speaks to his global impact, his ability to inspire change beyond borders.
And let's not forget the accolades closer to home. He's received the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan, two of India's highest civilian honors. These awards are given for exceptional and distinguished service, right?
They are. It's a recognition of his contributions not just to the Indian economy, but to Indian society as a whole. It's a testament to the respect he's garnered, not just as a business leader, but as a philanthropist. And despite his massive contributions, he remains one of the wealthiest individuals in India.
Wow.
Still ranked 19th on Forbes' list of India's richest people, with a net worth of $12.2 billion. It's a fascinating juxtaposition, this immense wealth alongside a life committed to giving. It raises some profound questions, don't you think? Yeah, it does.
Azim Premji's story challenges us to think about our own relationship with success, with wealth, and with the legacy we want to leave behind.
It's almost like he's redefined, what it means to be successful.
Yeah.
Not just building a company, but building a better future.
Right.
Starting with education.
It's a powerful message, isn't it?
Yeah.
Azim Premji's story really makes you pause and consider, what's the true measure of a life well lived?
Yeah.
Is it about what you accumulate or what you contribute?
It's a question we could probably debate all day.
Yeah.
But what strikes me is this. Premji's philanthropy wasn't about accolades or recognition. It was about action, about making a tangible difference.
You're right. And it's about more than just, the billions donated.
Right.
It's about the millions of lives touched by the work of the Azim Premji Foundation. Children who now have access to quality education, teachers equipped with the skills and resources to excel, communities empowered through knowledge. That's the real legacy here. It's like that saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Premji seems to have taken that to heart on a massive scale.
It's a ripple effect, isn't it? Investing in education has this incredible ability to create positive change that transcends generations.
It really makes you think about the impact each of us can have. We might not have billions to give, but what we can take from Premji's story is that commitment, that drive to find your purpose, whatever it may be, and contribute to something larger than yourself.
Absolutely. It's about identifying what you care about, what you're passionate about, and then like finding ways to make a difference in those areas. It
Yeah.
could be volunteering, mentoring, supporting a cause close to your heart. I don't know, every bit counts.
It's about recognizing that we all have something to offer, and that even small actions, driven by purpose and compassion, can have a ripple effect we might never fully comprehend.
Ultimately, Premji's story is a powerful reminder that true success isn't just about personal gain. It's about leaving the world a better place than you found it.
Beautifully said. It's a powerful message to end on. A huge thank you to you and to our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into the remarkable life and legacy of Azim Premji.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.